Okay, so how can we start doing a static analysis on our application if we're not really able to open the IPA file using Xcode? Well, a cool trick we can use with these IPA files is we can make a duplicate. So for example, let's say I was looking at this sunbeltrentals.ipa that we downloaded earlier. I'm going to make a duplicate of the file here. And something simple we can actually do is just rename this file to be payload.zip, and this will work for any IPA file. You need to name it in this way, payload.zip. I'm just going to click enter here and click use.zip. So every IPA file is really just a bundled package of resources, and if we rename it to payload.zip, it will allow us to actually extract information out of the application. It's going to expand this payload.zip folder out into a payload folder. So here we have our payload folder now. I'll double click in here. Now we can see some basic information. So if I go to like meta-inf here, you can see we have a zip metadata.plist here. It doesn't really have that much information. I'm going to go back and go to this new payload folder here inside of our other payload folder. And now we see this sunbeltrentals.app. If we wanted to see the information that's actually contained in here, it's very simple with a Mac. We can just control click this and click show package contents. And this is going to open up the application and all of its files and everything like that. So now you can actually see some of the different fonts that are being used here by the application. You can also see the info.plist file. Now this file is very important. We're going to double click the info.plist and just take a quick look here. It's going to open that file up in Xcode. We can actually look at the info.plist. And this file is kind of similar to what we had with the Android manifest.xml. This is where a lot of the basic application information is stored. You can see we have things like the platform version, bundle name, the SDK name here. We could possibly find some strings or anything like that. We can see this DTX beacon URL, something that is being used by the application. You can also see some information like the Firebase, JSON, possibly some type of a hard-coded secret here, something like that. You can also find other information if we click down here, fonts provided by the application. So maybe some special fonts that they're using for the application. Take a look through this entire info.plist file and look for anything that might be stored insecurely, or like a hard-coded password, username, anything like that that might be utilized by the application. This is definitely a file that you would want to take a look at. We'll see the info.plist come back when we take a look at this application through mobsf as well. Okay, other things that are in here, anything that is really like a plist file here, you're going to want to just take a look through. So for example, we have the Google service info.plist here. This could give us some information about the different Google services being utilized. You can see here now we have our Firebase database URL. Also have things like the client IDs and Google App IDs, API keys, things like that. So that can be a useful target for you as well to do some static analysis and find some URLs or possibly API keys. You can also take a look through here in the frameworks folder. For example, this is kind of where some of the application source code is going to be stored. Take a look through the assets. This is where we're going to find things like the app.json here. Could also find some things like images. There's nothing really in here. Go to the source here. You can see assets, environments, different JSON files here. So prod.json. And now we have a ton of different URLs in this application that we've just discovered. So make sure you go out and look at the environment variables, everything like that. We have API URLs here, all types of different endpoints that are now expanding our scope when we're looking through this application. Obviously, these ones with dev, QA, JSON, perf, exec, etc. will be additional URLs as well. So I'm going to go back here, go back to the source here. Go to modules this time. You would just want to basically take a look through everything here. Have our account menu.json. So this is another JSON file. Looks like it's defining some things about the account menu. Different types of things here. Yep, like getting help, support, pickup, the structure of the account menu of the application. You can obviously read through all the different JSONs and all the different folders and everything they have here. They have some stuff here for corporate responsibility. I'm going to go back up another level, go all the way back to our Sunbelt Rentals.app. So you'd want to basically take a look through the assets folder there, try to find any JSON files, any hard-coded strings in there that might have like a username or password or anything like that. You want to take a look through the frameworks folder. You want to take a look through the info.plist, the Google Services info.plist, or any other generic plist files that they actually have listed here on the top level of the application. You can obviously also take a look through like the SC info here. There's a manifest.plist file here. This can sometimes have some interesting things in it that they might be storing, but in this case, there's nothing here. So this is kind of how you would look through the application from a source code perspective, just looking through the file system of the application. And again, to quickly highlight the process again, what we did here is I had the IPA file taken from AnyTrans. Remember, we pulled this application right off the App Store and put it onto our MacBook. I duplicated this file to a Sunbelt Rentals.ipa duplicate, renamed that file to payload.zip, opened the payload.zip, went to the payload folder, and then you go to the payload folder inside of that folder, and then you control click or right click here the Sunbelt Rentals.app and show the package contents, and that's how you get to the point here of actually looking through the application source code, taking a look through some of the hard-coded files and everything like that. So that is how you would do this from a manual perspective and looking through the file system manually. Let's move on now to how we can do our static analysis using MobSF to kind of speed up this process a little bit.